Now, if you click on thumbnail, 185,000 with almost 2% in terms of interest rates. Now, I'm going to show you exactly how that's going to be done. So in today's video, I'll be covering quite a few accounts, the DBS Multiplier Account, the OCBC 360, UOB ONE account, how you can really strategize your cash to be into various accounts to get the highest rates that you can get for yourself. Of course, these rates are going to change from time to time. As of now, this is May of 2020, and the rates are very likely going to change downwards because that's the trend of how interest rates have been going. In case you don't already know, the Singapore savings bond rates right now is at 0.57%. That pathetic. So might as well listen to this video. If you haven't optimized any of your cash, maybe there's a few tips or two that you can find handy. Hi guys, welcome back. Now in this video, I'm going to help you maximize your cash regardless of which age group you belong to. Now in the later part of the video, which is the bulk of it, I'll cover the various bank accounts that suit any age group. But in any case, if you're in the age group of 18 to 26, don't go any further, look for the JUMPSTART account by Standard Chartered Bank. This bank account is fantastic. 2% for your first 20,000, especially if you're a fresh graduate, just started working, not too much cash. This bank account is the number one that you should go to. I'll leave links below just in case you're curious about it. Now, this bank account also gives you a debit cashback card. And from what I understand, you can actually use it to clock your transactions and there's no minimum that you need to spend. So in that case, very fast, free, very simple account that really helps any young working adult from the age of 26. So with that settled, let's move on to subsequent bank accounts. Now, if you're above the age of 26 like me, then too bad, can't open a Stanchart JUMPSTART account. But nonetheless, let's move on to where you can actually park your cash. The first one I'd like to suggest to you is the DBS Multiplier Account. And in this bank account is very popular. The DBS has done a lot of marketing on it. So if you're already in it, I'm not surprised. But nonetheless, let's run through just in case you haven't seen the revisions on it. The DBS Multiplier Account, if you have 2 transactions and your salary credited in, for your total amount being transacted between 5,000 to 15,000, which is quite easy to clock if you have mortgage, credit card, salary going in, you realize you can get up to 2.2% in terms of interest rate for your first $50,000. Now, if you're able to clock more transactions, go ahead, look for the rest of the table for it. But I think most often than not, clocking 2 transactions with credit card and mortgage is pretty easy. And that's why DBS Multiplier is one of the top accounts, I think, in the market, in terms of market share. I don't have real data for it, but asking friends and looking at forums, I think it's one of the most popular ones, even though they've revised their rates a little bit downwards. But if you don't really have a mortgage with DBS, that's where an alternative comes in, which I'll touch on in the subsequent part of the video. And if you don't have a mortgage coming in to DBS, there's 2 parts, the salary plus transaction, which is credit card. You get 1.8% on your first $50,000 saved up. Now again, always check with DBS because rates keep changing, and as of this time of filming, this is still accurate. But nonetheless, clocking the credit card transaction is pretty simple. So with DBS, you can actually use the POSB everyday card with no minimum spending. So I've actually a friend who clocks his salary and does a DBS everyday card. 1 transaction will do, and he actually clocks it with this higher interest rate. So do consider whether this is a good method for you to earn interest. Now, as I mentioned, if you don't have mortgage with DBS, then consider this bank account, OCBC 360 account. How does it actually work? The OCBC 360 mainly is a salary plus credit card account from the design of it. You know, whenever banks design a product, they always have a client avatar, in my opinion. Like how does the targeted client look like? And from what it seems, the OCBC one wants you to have salary as well as just 1 transaction with them. And it's pretty simple. If you clock $500 into your credit card, you're able to earn for the first 35,000, 1.4% per annum in terms of your cash savings inside. Now, if you have more than 35,000, if you have 70,000, then for the next 35,000, the second 35,000, you can get actually 2.8% on that cash portion. So on average, total 2.1%. Now that's pretty good. If you have 70,000 and you don't have a DBS mortgage, then look for the OCBC 360 account. You can get 2.1% on your first 70K. Now, both the DBS Multiplier account and OCBC account both require salary crediting. But if you have employment in one place, you only have 1 salary, you can choose between them. And where else can you park your money to get high interest? Now, I have a further suggestion for you, which is the UOB ONE account. This account design is very different. Now, again, client avatar, customer avatar, which means they're looking for people who have credited their money somewhere else in terms of salary, and they allow you to clock 3 giro transactions to replace salary crediting. That's pretty interesting and pretty unique. So to qualify for the UOB ONE account, what you need to do is 3 giro transactions and the UOB ONE card to have a spending of 500 per month minimum for consecutively for within a quarter itself. Do take note of that. I actually used to use the UOB ONE account and UOB ONE card, but I actually missed out on the 500 per month diligently, and after all I realized it doesn't really suit my style of spending. So if it suits your style, it actually works pretty well. And let me pull up the interest for you to see. For the first 75,000, if you save up cash 75,000, you can get effective interest about 1.8% per annum. That really maximizes your cash. Just giro transactions and UOB ONE card spending, you can get a further 1.8% on that 75,000. Now we've covered quite a few bank accounts, and the next part of it I'll be touching on plans. Actually, plans issued by insurers, because right now insurers are looking to really tap on cash by citizens like you and me. And one account that I'd like to suggest for you right at the start is actually a Singlife savings account. The Singlife savings account is actually a universal life plan, and I'll leave links below just in case you are not familiar with the concept. I have a full article to explain to you. And Singlife savings account is very simple to understand. It's actually 2.5% for the first $10,000 only. Beyond that, the interest rate is pretty low. So for the first 10,000, just chuck with Singlife, and they used to be just only insured, but right now they're having deposits, a Visa card, etc., etc. But nonetheless, the Singlife account gives you 2.5% for $10,000. And if you still have cash, let me move you to a different plan solution, which is the Elastic plan by Etiqa. In any case, if you don't know, Etiqa is actually a Malaysian company. So nonetheless, Elastic plan actually also is a universal life plan, whereby it gives you 1.8% guaranteed for 3 years. And what it actually requires just from you is $5,000 to start things with, and keep that $5,000 within it just to avoid any fees. And the max you can pull up the Elastic plan or contribute to it is 50,000. So 5,000 to 50,000 range, you can consider Elastic plan. Absolutely flexible after 90 days. What that means is if you put your monies in, after 90 days, you can withdraw the amounts above the 5,000 anytime. Your cash is still liquid, which means you get 1.8% and yet have the benefit of liquidity. So these various ideas, that's how I actually came out with this thumbnail, $185,000 with almost 2% per annum in terms of cash saving rate. How does it actually go? You can actually park your cash 50,000 DBS, salary credited there, 75,000 inside UOB ONE account, and then 50,000 with Etiqa and 10,000 with Singlife. That makes up 185,000, and your cash interest is almost 2%. Now, of course, all these interest rates are likely going to drop because right now, Fed is cutting rates. We are going to a negative interest rate kind of category. These interest rates are not likely going to be maintained, but the strategy still works the same. Wherever gives you the highest interest, look for them and revise your cash portfolio. Optimize it as best as you can, because it doesn't take too much effort to move monies and sign up between plans. Now, if you have more than 185,000 in cash, I have a further tip for you. And before you get there, smash your like button so that more people can see valuable content like this. And also smash your subscribe, inviting you to join this community, become more financially savvy. Now, if you have more than $185,000, I have a further suggestion, and that is none other than money market funds. Money market funds actually buy into bonds that are going to be maturing in about 90 days or so, which means theoretically they are of a very, very low risk in terms of default. So money market funds, there's one actually run by Philips Securities, and they pay about 1 to 1.3%. So you can freely put in any excess amounts above 185 into the money market fund, and they are very liquid. You can sell off anytime and get the cash to come back if you want to fund a property purchase or buy into an investment idea, etc., etc. But also, having reached to this point, I also like to ask you a question. If you have been keeping so much cash, more than 185,000, is it because you are too conservative? Have you actually looked whether it fulfills your retirement goals or your investment goals? Because when you have too much cash, you do know that regardless of 2% or not, it's still below inflation, which means your cash is being eroded away. Having cash for a rainy day, that's great. From this pandemic, we do realize the importance of cash. But having too much cash as compared to your net worth suggests a potential problem whereby you're not maximizing or taking too little risk to grow your monies effectively. And that'll be a separate topic. But nonetheless, I have a further video that might help you get some ideas. And that video is none other than this: 8 guaranteed methods to get investment returns. That video really touches on some other investment instruments with small risk, manageable risk. And in that video, that tutorial, I already explain more on risk, like low risk bonds, etc., etc. So I hope that video can also help you a bit further expand on this topic. so you maximize not only your cash but maximize your total assets, total wealth to get financial freedom. With that, smash the like button. I'll sign off from here. Again, if you have comments, leave them in the comment sections. I'll pick up each and every one of them. With that, I'll see you in a future video. Take care and goodbye.